Hello dear twin flames and welcome to this new reading for this new week. The right hand side is the energy of the divine masculine and the left hand side is the energy of the divine feminine. We'll start with the right hand side. I will be mix and matching, swinging on both sides. So the major energy for the divine masculine this week is the lovers. They are in this energy of the lovers. The lovers card is about this is about commitment and marriage and the family and the kin and babies and happily ever after, growing all together and till death do us apart. And this is about the divine masculine believes that you are their divine counterpart, the cosmic soulmate. There are so many names, there are so many labels, whatever label you're comfortable with. And there is Taurus here and there is Libra here. I feel Taurus, love, I associate this, I always associate everything with a god or a goddess. Okay, so for me the goddess of love is Venus. And there's Taurus the bull here. So she's kind of the earth element of Venus. And Libra would be the heaven element of Venus, the as above so below principle. And there is, I don't know if you can see the imagery, the symbolism. It's showing the Greek god Eros. He was a blind god who used to throw arrows at people and make them love or hate a targeted person. The arrows were laced with potions, love potion or hate potion. This god is popularly known as Cupid to the rest of the world who don't know Greek mythology. So this is Eros or Cupid trying to pierce the feminine with his arrow. Your divine masculine, he wants to mark you as his, mark you with you are mine and nobody else can have you, and he wants you to know that he loves you. But I don't see much communication happening. It looks like this people are not communicating. This divine masculine, this divine feminine, they're not. There's distance and there's not much communication. At least I feel this divine masculine is not talking much or saying anything at all. But he wants you to know without saying, he wants you to understand that he loves you. From heaven to earth or from earth to heaven. And over the moon. And you are his destiny. This is what he wants you to know. And then we have, for the swords, we have the 9 and the Knight of Swords. The 9 of Swords would be the person who has sleepless nights. The divine masculine, he's having sleepless nights. He cannot sleep. Feeling love makes you feel a lot of other sub-emotions. There's a spectrum. Love is not one, focal point of emotion. It's a spectrum. And you have to feel the entire spectrum of emotions. You have to feel jealousy. You have to feel insecurity, you have to feel high, you have to feel low, you have to feel you have to feel trust, you have to feel mistrust, you have to feel secure, you have to feel everything. You have to feel the entire cosmos of emotions here. And that is why he cannot sleep. Interpreting, it's called stress and anxiety, but it's not really stress and anxiety. It's the overwhelming emotions that he's feeling and processing. It's difficult to process so many emotions in a heart which was not used to being flooded with so many emotions. So he's taking his time to process everything. It's a lot of mental work to process out, to filter out the jealousy out, the insecurity out, the fears out. It's shadow work. It's a mental filtration of your emotions. And yeah, that's what he's doing. And in the Knight of Sword energy, he's trying to control. He feels he will not have this stress if he is in control. He's afraid of losing control. This Knight of Swords is a person who wants control, who's rash. Who's rash. He's driven by adrenaline. He's not driven by experience and discipline. He's got adrenaline in his blood, and he's like he wants to charge, and he wants to take control. This is what he's thinking. He's not going to do it, but he's kind of in this energy. Like, he feels if he's in control of everything, he will not have the stress. That's what he's thinking. Okay, in the emotions, the cups, I have the 3 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. 3 of Cups is the wedding. It's I consider 3 of Cups like a smaller thing than that. Of course it is, because 3 cups and here we have 10 cups, so of course it's smaller. But I consider 3 of Cups like a smaller event, like the wedding, and the 10 of Cups will be the marriage, a bigger event. But the 3 of Cups here symbolize the same as the Lovers, the commitment, the family, the promise to spend your life together, the promise, the vow. Wedding is about the vow that you are involving God in your relationship and taking your vows before God. Unbreakable vow, which can only be broken by death. So that's what the 3 of Cups is about. See this angel writing and blowing his horn. He wants to, this is like the divine masculine, he wants to give you that commitment in written form. Written would be the contract of marriage, and the spoken form would be the proposal. This is what he wants to do, propose to you and marry you. Okay. The 10 of Cups is more of building the whole marriage. Marriage is a very big and strong institution. It requires a firm foundation. The tower here is a firm foundation. And then we have all the phases of the moon, the waxing moon, the waning moon, the disappearing moon, the appearing moon. And sometimes the moon is just dull, and sometimes it's just too bright. And that's what the seasons of the moon, if you will, the cycles, seasons. I can say seasons of the moon. It's going to take a lifetime and still more to build a marriage. Marriage requires, yes, love is the foundation, but it requires a lot of other things too. And the 2 crescent moons on the tower, they form that yin-yang symbol of the yin-yang. That is the twin flame relationship on a strong foundation. This is what their emotions are towards you. The fire energy, the sun energy. I have 2 fire cards for the divine masculine, as opposed to 4 fire cards for the divine feminine, and the major arcana 5 fire cards for the divine feminine. So looks like the feminine polarity has more passion in this spread. I have the 8 of Fire and the Lady of Fire, the Queen of Fire. The 8 of Fire is a travel card. The divine masculine wants to travel to you. Either you are separated by distance. The distance could be emotional, it could be mental distance, it could be anything, communication distance, any distance. I'm not really saying physical, but here it looks to me like more of physical given the current circumstances. And this angel has wings and wants to fly, the airplane, the whole, this is more of a physical distance here. And there are the 8 stars. Okay, there are stars here on the passion card, the fire cards. It's a star. It's called the star of Ishtar or Inanna. Ishtar or Inanna was a goddess. Is a goddess. In the Sumerian civilization, she was called Ishtar, and in the Babylonian civilization, she was called Inanna, the same goddess. She is a goddess of love, beauty, sex, war, justice, political power. These are all positive elements. War is positive. Okay, war is positive. The intention is more important than the event. If the war is fought for honor and integrity and valor, then it's a positive war. Fire is fueling, passion is fueling all this. These are the elements that passion is fueling. Passion fuels love. Passion fuels beauty. Passion fuels sex. Passion fuels war. Passion fuels justice and political power. Imagine one woman being the god of sex, war, and love. Like, these three things seem so contradictory to each other. It's like a paradox. But it's not really. It's the same thing. Passion, whose intensity is varied. Love, sex, and war will require the same passion in different intensity. And then we have the Queen of Fire, the divine masculine being in the feminine energy of fire would mean that the passion that is feeling is more controlled, is more expansive. The masculine polarity of fire is destructive. The feminine polarity of fire is expansive. It is nurturing, it is inspiring, it is building, it is, the feminine, subdued and gentle. He's feeling that fire for you. He doesn't want to ravage you. It's more gentle, it's the feminine polarity of fire, the expansive. And then for earth, we have the 6 of earth. That would be the giving. The universe is always working for balance. If there is a void, imbalance is a void, which is also called a black hole in the universe. And there's a black hole, the universe moves in to fill up the black hole. A black hole has gravity. It tends to fill itself up. So, yeah, the divine masculine is not giving anything. And he knows it. And he knows he needs to bring more balance into the equation. Otherwise, the equation will be lost. Coming to the energy of the divine feminine, we have the ruling card is the sun. The ruling major arcana card is the sun. Leo, the Lion King. Okay, this divine feminine, whoever is resonating with this divine feminine is a Lion King. And I'm not going to say queen. You are a Lion King. Okay, I don't care if you are female or male or feminine or masculine, or you are a Lion King. We have four cards of fire, 2, 4, 7 and 9 of fire. The 2 of fire card is actually the dude holding the globe. Somebody who has the world at her or his feet. The divine feminine is an equal. We are talking about 2 equal polarities of the same soul. She can also have the world at her feet. She can also have the abundance. She can have the power. She can have the joy. And she can have anything that she wants to have. This is a power couple. These are 2 people who have everything independent of each other. This card is the opposite of codependency. They have everything. They don't need to take from the other person. They are whole and complete on their own. They would like to share. A power couple, sharing with each other. That's what the twin flame relationship is. If you are codependent, if you are trying to fill up an emotional void, or if you are financially challenged, then you need more work. You need more separate. You need to work more on yourself. The 4 of fire, this is somebody who is building a strong home, strong family ties. If you look at the card, there are 4 women. These are elder women. It could be your grandmother, aunt, elder sister, mom, and and somebody is sick, somebody is caring for the other person. This is family, and the divine feminine is passionate about family, building strong family ties. The tribe, the family tribe, she is passionate about that. Her own empire, the family tree, and then a firm foundation in the 7 of fire. A firm foundation like her own self, the foundation of who you are. Everybody is always mirroring your relationship with yourself. Everybody around you. They pick up on how you feel about yourself and they start to mirror it to you. Everybody is a reflection of us. So if you have a strong relationship with yourself, people will start mirroring that to you. This is the 7 of fire is that person who's standing his own ground. That feminine knows how to stand her own ground, or you need to know how to stand your own ground. Not be swayed by opinions, popular beliefs, religious dogmas, media, whatever. You need to have your own truth spelled out for you. Having your own firm foundation, being strong on your own feet and on solid ground. Then we have the 9 of fire. This is a protector. This Lion King here is protecting the sheep. Okay, I can say that this is the feminine protecting her own innocence, her own vulnerability. I am innocent, I am vulnerable. Don't mess with me. The sword is the mind. And there are flowers growing out of the lion's mouth. She's speaking good words, but her mind is stronger. Her mind is very powerful. She can withdraw, she can reject, she can go away, she can walk out. But yeah, she is protecting her own vulnerability here. I have 3 earth cards, the 5, 7 and 9 of earth. The 5 of earth is the dark night of the soul card. There is blood is being spilled here. We spill blood. Blood is one of the 3 humors of the spirit. So when we have our soul broken, we spill our blood. Everybody does it since millions of years. So this is a divine feminine experiencing some sort of a piece of a soul missing, part of herself missing, something broken inside without the divine masculine. I'm not propagating the idea that you are incomplete without somebody else and that you need somebody else to complete you, and that's so unhealthy. But in this case, it is, you will always feel your other half missing from you if you are a twin flame. I cannot explain the feeling. Yeah, definitely a kind of a dark night of the soul. The loss, it's a loss. The loss which only can be compensated for when you are in reunion with your twin flame. The 7 of earth is the harvest. Divine feminine, she knows she has invested so much into this relationship that she would like to reap the fruits of the labor. There's a lot of mental energy has been invested, a lot of emotions have been invested, and she would like to see the whole relationship to reach its completion. 9 of earth is the complete. 9 is before the 10. 10 would be the completion with the masculine. Okay, the 10 of pentacles is the reunion. The 9 of pentacles is the feminine complete by herself. Doesn't need anybody else except the 10, the 1, 10, the plus 1 to become 10. So she is the 9 of pentacles. She has everything going for her. She's wearing yellow. She's the sun. She's wearing the solar plexus, the strong solar plexus. She has her own purse full of money. She can care for somebody else, and the matchsticks, she can ignite somebody else's fire. She's got enough fire in herself. She can even ignite other people's lights. The only thing, the +1 to become the 10 of Pentacles, the twin flame reunion with the abundance. That was the reading. Thank you all for watching my video, and all of you all have a nice day or night.